Hey guys, so today I'm here with a collective / Black Friday book haul. Basically books that I've gotten since my last book haul, which it's been a while since I've done a book haul. I've been really busy with school and I've just not been in the mood to film anything. So that's why I haven't posted any videos recently, but I decided to go ahead and haul the books that I've gotten in the last few months because they're starting to accumulate. As always, I'm going to start with the ebooks. The first book is not something I normally would get, but it was like $1.99 and I had to get it. And it's Taking the Lead by Derek Hough. It's his autobiography. If you don't know who Derek Hough is, he's a dancer on Dancing with the Stars and he's kind of become more of a celebrity. He's won like 5 times and yeah, so anyway, this is an autobiography and I really like him. He's a really good dancer and just seems like a really nice guy, so I thought I'd get his autobiography and just read it and just for fun. It was only like $2 and so I couldn't pass it up. The next book I got is With Malice by Eileen Cook. I don't know too much about this, I just know it's a thriller and it's about a girl who goes to Italy and I think is like accused of her friend's murder or something, but she can't remember, and it just sounds really interesting, and I really like thriller books. There's not a whole lot of thrillers in YA, but when I find them, I like to read them. The next one I got is Made You Up by Francesca Zappia. I don't know too much about this, except I know it's about someone with schizophrenia, which is really interesting. I've never read a book about schizophrenia. I really like reading books about mental illnesses and stuff, and schizophrenia is one I've never read, and so I'm excited to see what that's all about. Next, I got The Memory Book by Laura Avery. This book is about a girl who, I think she has like some sort of disease where she's slowly losing her memory, and so she's like trying to come up with some way to remember things. That's about all I know, but it sounded really good and it was like cheap, so I got it. Next, I got Girl in the Blue Coat by Monica Hesse. I don't know honestly anything about this except it's a mystery book and I think it's set in the Netherlands, which is pretty cool, so I got it because it was cheap and it sounded interesting, so yeah. And the last ebook I got is The Crown's Game by Evelyn Skye. This is a fantasy book and I know it's based on like Russian. I've heard good things about it and I really liked the Grisha trilogy, which is kind of that Russia kind of feel to it, and so I'm hoping I'll like it. Now on to all of the physical books. The first one I got, of course, I had to get Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, the illustrated edition. I have the Sorcerer's Stone illustrated edition, and I was like, I need to get the Chamber of Secrets too. I intend to read these at some point. I have not read the first one yet, but I just really like the illustrations in here, like this, and it's just really nice. And I'm a big Harry Potter fan, and so of course I couldn't not get it. I had to get it. But it's just super nice. It has like a bookmark, and I'm hoping to collect the whole series as they come out. But yes, I'm super excited about this, just to own this. And these next 2 books I got from Book Outlet. I just made a random Book Outlet order. And the first one I have is Goldfish by Nat Lertz-Sema. I've actually read this one. It's really funny. It's set in like Britain, so it kind of has like a British humor to it. So if you like British humor, I think you'd like this. Basically, it's about a girl who's a swimmer and she fails to qualify for the Olympics, and so she's kind of depressed. And she randomly gets roped into helping these 3 boys from her school, like with their synchronized swimming competition. And oh my gosh, it's so funny. There's some parts I was just dying laughing. It's hilarious. And I would definitely recommend it. It is a little bit slow at first, and I kind of wasn't sure how I felt about it, but I just thought the humor was great, so yes. And then I got When We Collided by Emery Lord. I've read Open Road Summer by her, and I really loved it. I have not read her other book, but I own it, and I saw this on Book Outlet, and I had to get it. And I really like this cover. It's really simple, but it's just really cool. I like the paint splatters. And then there's a couple of new releases that I was excited about that I had to pick up. The first one is Replica by Lauren Oliver. This book is like, it's a sci-fi book, and it's told from 2 different perspectives, and you flip it over to get the other perspective. And there's a bunch of different ways to read it. I've heard you can either read all of Gemma and all of Lyra, or all of Lyra and then all of Gemma, or you can like alternate between chapters. I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do yet. If you have any like recommendations for how to read it, let me know in the comments below, but it just seems really interesting and I'm excited to see what it's all about. And then I also got A Million Worlds with You by Claudia Gray. This is the 3rd book in the Firebird trilogy, I think. And it's like a sci-fi book where they travel to like parallel universes, and it's just really good. There's a love triangle in it, and I'm really hoping she picks the one guy I want her to, but we'll see. It's kind of one of those love triangles where I'm like firmly on one side, and that usually doesn't happen, but I'm firmly on one side of the love triangle. Yes, so I hope she picks the guy that I want her to pick, and I want to read this soon and find out. And then all the rest of these books I got for Black Friday. These first group of books I got at Half Price Books, because Half Price Books has like 20% off everything in the store, and of course I always go crazy. I actually only bought 3 books, which is pretty good. But the first one I got is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I've read most, I think, maybe all of Colleen Hoover's books. This is one I have not read and I didn't own, and it's her newer one. I've heard it's a lot darker than her other one, so that'll be interesting, but I'm hoping I will like it. But it was half price and then it was 20% off in addition, so I couldn't pass it up, so I got it. And next I got The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. She's the author of Everything Everything, which I read last year, and I really enjoyed it. And I've heard really, really good things about this. The only thing I know about this is it's about a girl who's about to get deported back to Jamaica, and she meets a boy like on the day before. I just heard really good things about it, and I really liked Everything, so I am super excited to dive into this one. I also got The Fiery Heart by Rochelle Mead. This is the 4th book in the Vampire Academy series. I actually just finished Bloodlines yesterday, and I really, really loved it. I think I like it more than Vampire Academy. And I saw this at Half Price Books for, it was $4.99 and then 20% off, so it was $3.99, and I couldn't pass it up. I'm kind of going to be slowly collecting them as I find them for cheap. Also at Half Price Books, I picked up Hamilton the coloring book, because I had to. I didn't even know this was a thing. But yes, it just has coloring pictures of various Hamilton characters and stuff, and it just sounds really cool, and it's something I can do while I'm listening to the soundtrack, because I just listen to the soundtrack and I feel like I'm not doing anything, because I can't really do anything and listen to music at the same time, so I can color and listen to the soundtrack whenever I have time, which is probably never, but it's a thought, and I couldn't not get this, so of course I got it. Then I also went to Barnes & Noble because I had a 30% off coupon, but Barnes & Noble does this thing on Black Friday where they sell signed copies of books, and I kind of went a little crazy. Not a little crazy, I only got 2, but I wouldn't normally buy, like, almost full price books at Barnes & Noble. I did have a coupon, so that was kind of my excuse, but yes. The first book I got, I had to get it. It's Courage to Soar by Simone Biles with Michelle Burford. I saw it was signed, and I was like, I need to have this, it's signed by Simone Biles. I mean, come on. How could you not? If you don't know who Simone Biles is, you've probably been living under a rock, but she is an Olympic gymnast. She just won like 4 gold medals at this past Olympics. She's a pretty big deal. She's probably like the best female gymnast of all time. Just really funny. I just really like her, like from her interviews. She seems like a really good person, and I wanted to read her autobiography, and I had to get a signed copy, of course. Yes, I'm like really excited to read this because I just love Simone Biles, and I love gymnastics and everything, yes. And then I also picked up Heartless by Marissa Meyer. This is also signed, which is super exciting because Marissa Meyer is like one of my favorite authors, and it's signed in silver Sharpie on black, which is like one of my favorite things. And yes, this is her new book. It's a retelling of The Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland, and I'm not familiar with that story at all, but I'm excited to read it and find out about the story. And I've heard good things. I've actually heard some bad things too, so we'll see how I like it. The next thing I have is this package from Book Outlet. Just got here today. I've been waiting all day to open this. I wanted to open it on camera after I got all my Black Friday books, because today is Black Friday as I'm filming this. Okay, first book I see in here is Lumen A by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I was super excited when I saw this showed up on Book Outlet. It was only there like for not very long because I think people grabbed it up, but I've been wanting to read this. I just have never really felt the need to pick it up, so I just never have. I've heard really good things about it. I've heard it's like told in like email and stuff, so I think it'll be a quick read even though it's really long. But I've heard just really, really good things about this series, and I'm excited to get into this, and I'm really, really excited it was on Book Outlet, and I got it for pretty cheap. I also got Wink Poppy Midnight by April Genevieve Tucholk. I know almost nothing about this. I've read April Genevieve Tucholk's Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea series, and I really enjoyed it. I didn't like the second one as much, but I really, really liked the first one, and I think it's kind of a mystery, and I really like mysteries, and so I bought it, and it's a super short book too, which is great because I really like short books because I can get through them and I don't feel like I'm a failure at reading when I'm busy with school. So yeah. And the last book in this box is The Forbidden Wish by Jessica Corey. It's a retelling of Aladdin where the genie is a girl and she falls in love with Aladdin, which sounds really interesting. I like Aladdin a lot. It's like one of my favorite Disney movies. And I've never read a retelling of Aladdin. I've read a retelling of 1001 Nights, which I know is like Aladdin is part of, I think. But I haven't read anything like this, and I'm super excited to dive into it. I'm also waiting on some packages from Book Outlet and Barnes & Noble that I will open when they arrive, and so I'll insert that footage right here. Hey guys, so I just got back from class and I found this package here from Book Outlet. But first, I also want to show you, yesterday in the mail I got Tales from the Shadowhunter Academy from Barnes & Noble. I used a coupon that they had for Black Friday. If you don't know, this is a collection of short stories set after City of Heavenly Fire, following a character from City of Heavenly Fire, which I'm not going to say because it would be a huge spoiler for it. But I heard that this was better to read before Lady Midnight, and I know there were parts of Lady Midnight that I would have liked a backstory for, that I think will be in here, and so I'm really excited to check it out and see how I like it. And now for the package. I got 3 books. This was for their Black Friday sale. They were 30% off, and I just saw 3 books that I really wanted, and so I just went ahead and ordered them. Almost got it. Whew. Quite the workout. The first book I have is actually a book that I already own. I have it on Kindle, but I wanted a hard copy since I have a hard copy of her other 2 books, and it's one of my favorite books that I read this year, and that's Open Road Summer by Emery Lord. I read this back this summer, and I wasn't really expecting much out of it, but I absolutely loved it. And I bought her other 2 books that she has out, and I'm excited to read those soon, but I wanted to get a physical copy of this just because I liked it so much, and I have copies of her other books. The next book I saw in Book Outlet, and I just had to get it, and that is The Flip Side by Shawn Johnson. If you don't know Shawn Johnson, she was an Olympic gymnast back in 2008, and I guess she wrote a book about gymnastics, and I've heard not very good things about this book, but I had to get it because it was Shawn Johnson, and I'm obsessed with gymnastics ever since the Olympics. Obviously, I bought Simone Biles' autobiography, and I had to get this, and I'm actually excited to read it. I think it'll just be a fun read. I really like Shawn Johnson. She has a YouTube channel, if you don't know. She vlogs with her husband, and they're the cutest couple ever. I will actually link her channel down below, so you should go check her out if you're interested, if you enjoyed seeing her at the Olympics way back in the day, if you're old enough to remember that, because a lot of you probably aren't, which is kind of scary, and it makes me feel old. The last book I got in the Book Outlet package is Gemini by Sonia Mukherjee. I don't know how to say it. It's spelled like that, if you care to know. I don't know much about this except it's about conjoined twins, and I read a book about conjoined twins a few months ago and I really liked it, so I was like, why not? It's on Book Outlet, it's cheap, it was 30% off of the already cheap price, so why not get it? So these are the books that I've gotten in the last few days. So that's all I have for my book haul / unboxing today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again next time. Goodbye!